everybody, this is Ryan from RTB, and we are back again with another review. This time, we're looking at Sinners. So this is the latest project from Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan. They're teaming up again. This is going to be a complete spoiler review. It's really hard to explain how good the movie is without telling you what happens in it. So it's definitely something that you want to see for yourself, for sure. I think it's a great film. The music in the movie was fantastic. It definitely makes you want to listen to the blues. The acting in the movie is fantastic. Michael B. Jordan is great. Haley Steinfeld does a great job with her role. And it's a great time to be had. And it doesn't feel long either. It has two plot points that mesh together really well. It starts off with these two twin brothers, Smoke and Stack. They're coming back in town after moving to Chicago to make some money. They made the money, now they've come back home, and they want to open a juke joint for the people of their town. So they recruit their cousin, who they find out knows how to play the blues really well, so they sign him up to perform at the juke joint. Yeah, they run into all of their old friends and neighbors and people that they grew up with. Everybody knows the Smokestack twins, but it's not really for good reason. Of course, they have some friends and everybody that look out for them, but they're not good guys. They start the movie off pretty much by shooting a guy in the leg, and I think he shot both of them in the leg. One of the twins shot both of them in the leg because they tried to steal out of their truck. He paid this kid, I forget how much he paid her, but paid her to look out for the truck while he goes to try to recruit some people for the juke joint. Says, hey, I need you to lay on the horn if you see anybody coming around the truck, or, just asking too many questions. Girl lays on the horn, he comes out, and he's not running over to the truck, because he's not really far away either, but he's not rushing over to the truck. He walks up real calmly, has his gun in his hand, and then before they even know that he's right there, one guy tries to run. He's like, where you going? I bet this bullet will beat you there. So he stops, finds out that the dude he shot in the leg was somebody that he knew growing up. He's like, I didn't know this was your truck, man. Little girl snitches on him, says, yeah, you did, because I told you. He didn't believe him. But they're getting signs and everything made. They're recruiting some cooks and bartenders and everything, and some other musicians. You find out that Smoke used to have a booth thing back in the day. They meet up, and she was the one that is like cooking all the food and helping them out with the juke joint. They rekindle a little bit, and Haley Steinfeld's character dated Stack, the other twin. He doesn't like people to know all about that. Yeah, so they got everything straight. They're getting ready to open up the juke joint. It's supposed to be opening up that day. And then it cuts to this other scene where you just see this guy running, and his skin is burning. Like, he's not on fire, but he looks like he just got put out. And I'm not gonna lie, I forgot that it was a vampire movie until the vampire shit started going down. Like, when this scene came up, I was like, what's up with this guy? Why is he burning? How hot is it in Mississippi? Like, this didn't make any sense at all. The sun is still out. It's going down, but the sun is still out, and this guy's trying to find some shelter because there's people chasing him down, because he's a vampire. He finds this house that's got this husband and wife couple living in it, but they're Klan members. And the movie does take place in the 30s, so there's definitely a lot of racial situations that take place as well. But he ends up getting into the house because if you know about vampires, they have to ask you to come in. Like, you have to give them permission to enter your home or your establishment. They can't just barge in there. They have to be granted entry. So he's begging at the door, trying to let them know that, yeah, I'm part of the Klan too. I'm just like you guys. I don't know why these people are chasing me, but you gotta help me. So they give in, they help the guy. And when the people that were chasing the vampire shows up at the door, the lady says she ain't seen nobody, ain't nobody here, and they leave. They're dipping off because the sun is about to go down, and we ain't trying to be outside at dark. She goes in to check on the husband, and the guy, the vampire dude, was just sitting in a rocking chair, and her husband's laid out on the floor. She's like, what's going on? And then the husband stands up. You see the bite mark on him. He's turned into a vampire, and he turns her into a vampire. So now it went from 1 to 3 real fucking fast. And you cut back to the juke joint, and everybody's in there having a good time. He's recruited a bouncer that he used to know from back in the day. They got everything set up, and so far everybody's having a real good time. You got somebody on the piano playing the blues, and then little Sammy, who is the twins' cousin. Sammy comes in with the guitar and starts singing, and he's dope with the blues, and you get to see this beautiful display of how music has evolved and transcended over time. How we as a people have transcended over time, and not just black people, but just people. Like the growth of music and different cultures that still manage to get together over just some real good music. Like, it doesn't take a lot for people to have a good time. So, but the music is attracting the vampires. So they already heard about the juke joint, but they heard the music. Because Sammy's father used to tell him back in the day, it's like, you keep playing that devil's music and the devil gonna come looking for you. His father was a pastor or a preacher. So Sammy goes by the name Preacher Boy. But his father told him, you keep playing that devil's music and the devil gonna come looking for you. And now you got 3 vampires at the juke joint. They're trying to get in. Of course they can't barge their way in. And they're also not trying to blow their cover immediately. So they can't get in. So they're asking, hey, can we come in and just have a good time with y'all? At first they look, because it's all black people in the juke joint right now. He's got these 3 white guys out here. And it was like, I don't know, man. I don't know what's up with you. I don't feel good about you coming into this juke joint with us. And they look at Haley Steinfeld, and it was like, well, how did she get in here? I was like, well, she's family. She's welcome in here. We don't know you motherfuckers. And they try to do a little shuck and jive and try to appeal to them, but vampires were not allowed in. So they start to try to walk away. And then Smoke starts going through the inventory and starts doing the audit on how much they've made, and, what their profits are starting to look like. And it's not going well, because a lot of people are paying in credits and paying with all these IOUs, and a lot of them don't have the money that they really need to pay for this good time that they're trying to have. And apparently they're going to run out of money in about 2 months unless something changes. So Haley Steinfeld, I forget her character's name, you gotta forget me on that, but Haley Steinfeld says, how about I go see what those white people was talking about? Let's see if they really got some money, that they had some money. Let's see what they're talking about. So Stack says, all right, I'll go talk to him. He's like, nah, man, you don't need to talk to him. I'll go talk to him, because they're going to tell me more than they would tell you. So she goes out to talk to them, and they start reading her emotions. They find out that her mother died recently, but they hand her these like couple pieces of gold. And then she's like, oh, so y'all do got some money, but I don't really like the vibe that y'all giving me either. I'ma head out. And as soon as she turns around, the vampire just like floats in the air, and they cut to it. So you know that they didn't got Haley, got her good. So she goes back into the juke joint, but she asks the bouncer, the bodyguard at the door, like, you mind letting me in? And the way she said it was like, he's like, okay, yeah, you're right, go ahead, come on in. So now she's been welcomed in, so she can come in and out as she pleases. And we'll come back to that, because there was a part where she could have definitely just gone in there and did what she needed to do, but she didn't, and I'm not sure why. But he welcomes her back in, so she goes in and starts talking to the brothers, and basically told him, yeah, they ain't got nothing for you. But she goes into a room with Stack, and they, things start getting a little heated. Smoke asks Sammy to go get his brother. Sammy goes to the door, walks in on them getting it in. Smoke is like, yo, where he at? It's like, hey, man, he busy right now. I don't care if he busy, man. I said go get him. And when he goes in there, they're not having the sexuals. She's chewing on this nigga's vocal cords right now. None on him. So Smoke lights her up. Twin pistols just lit her the fuck up. But she's a vampire. She just got up, ran off, ran outside. Now he's trying to comfort his brother. Sammy is there like, man, I don't know what happened. I probably could have stopped them. They weren't doing this when I saw them. They was having sex. I didn't know that she was biting on him like this. I didn't know that she looked like that. I don't know what happened. So Stack dies. Now the party's over. Everybody got to get the fuck out. So they clear out the whole juke joint. They didn't know anything about them being vampires at that time. They knew something was wrong. Annie was the one of Smoke. She's into like the voodoo witch type stuff, so she knows something about these spiritual creatures. She didn't know that he was in there at the time, but now she knows. She's like, you don't want to mess with that type of stuff. We need to get everybody out of here right now. So everybody in the juke joint dips off. Then Stat gets up. He knocking on the door. I'm like, hey man, y'all can let me out now. Oh, I wasn't feeling good back then, but I'm good now. You know, I got me a nice little nap and I'm rejuvenated. We can get back to the party. What's up? And it ain't nothing good, Stack. Nothing good, man. Smoke didn't want to believe it the entire time either, and that made it kind of hard to watch, because Smoke just watched his twin brother die in his arms, and now this motherfucker up talking about, hey man, let me out the room. I'm not letting you out of shit. Stat gets out of the room, of course, because vampires are stupid strong, so he just knocked the door down on top of Sammy at that, because he was never welcomed in, so he had to immediately leave. Now everybody else in the juke joint then left. They ended up getting the bodyguard. Now he's a vampire. Everybody that ran out of the juke joint gets turned into vampires, so now there's dozens of them, and singing blues, having a good time as these immortal creatures that they've turned into suddenly. But they're all linked, like, mentally, so they can all read each other's thoughts. They know what the other person remembers. They remember all the same stuff now, and they're trying to convince the ones that are still in the juke joint to let them leave, or to let them come in. Like, Stag is talking to Smoke, saying, bro, you gotta get in on this, man. We gonna live forever. Ain't nobody gonna mess with us for the rest of our lives, and we get to look like this for the rest of our lives, man. This is a win for everybody here. I can't get the fuck over. I'm stuck at this goddamn light, and I'm sick of it. Please make this fucking turn. Anyway, so yeah, there's a lot of convincing. Most of it doesn't work, but one of the people that's still inside is a lady. She runs a grocery store and some other type of shop with her husband. She had sent her husband out to go get the car and pull it up front, but the husband ended up going out there with all the rest of the vampires, so he got turned as well. So he's like, hey baby, you can either let me in and I can turn you into a vampire. I can go back to the grocery store and I can get our daughter and turn her into a vampire. How do you feel about that? So now they threatened to do the woman's daughter, and now everybody's tempted to try to do something, but they don't know what to do. So Annie is like, all right, now it's official, these guys are vampires. And as that happens, they see somebody in the, I think it's the kitchen area or somewhere else in the juke joint. He's passed out with all this red liquid laying around him. So they think, damn, we got another one in here. Gotta get him the fuck out. So they managed to get him out of the juke joint, but he wasn't a vampire. He wasn't even bleeding. It was red wine. And they just sent this man out to turn into a damn vampire. Because sure enough, right when they realized we made a mistake and they trying to get him back in, it was too late. They already got to him. Nibble on the neck. Because now we can't stay here forever. We can either wait it out until the sun rises, where they gotta get the fuck out of here, or we can defend our shit. So they said we're gonna defend our shit just in case they find a way to get in here. And so they're tearing the chairs apart, making wooden stakes out of it. They're all eating garlic, and they got all this silver and garlic on them to try to deter the vampires as much as possible. And the lady she couldn't bear the idea that this motherfucker knows where my kid is. I can't let y'all go get to my kid. Come on in, motherfuckers. And sure enough, they came on in that bitch, kicked the fucking door down, and just started going to war. But she had a Molotov cocktail. So the first thing that happened when that door got kicked down, through that bitch, hit her husband smack in the fucking head. She made a beeline towards him. She didn't care about nobody else. I want you because you threatened our daughter. Stabbed him right in the heart with the stake, and he's laying there dying, burning, on fire. But she won't get up. You already got the wooden stake in his heart. You're burning now. You're on fire. You're going to die. You might want to get up. She doesn't. She dies right there, making sure that at least this person can't hurt my daughter. While everybody else is in there, fighting for their life right now. They're going up against dozens of vampires, and they just trying to hold their own. Smoke got his guns out as much as he has, because they had a whole trunk worth of guns, but they didn't bring it. And he was real pissed off that they didn't bring it. But he was like, man, it's a juke joint. Ain't that many people coming in here to start shit in a juke joint. Now they really wish they had that trunk. So it's all out warfare. Everybody's throwing things, swinging things, stabbing vampires, and vampires are throwing people around and biting some of them. And Annie gets bit. Now, Annie had already told Smoke, dude, if they get me, I'm gonna need you to take me out right then and there. Smoke said, all right, I got you. She made him promise. So when they got to Annie, she said, you promised. Smoke said, all right. Pushed the wooden stake right into her chest. Now, this is when Haley Steinfeld's character gets real upset that they done killed Annie. I don't know what they needed from Annie, but they were real upset that he killed Annie. I was just curious as to why Haley Steinfeld's vampire didn't just come back in. She had already been welcomed in. And you don't need to be welcomed in every time. It just takes that one time for you to be welcomed in, and then you're good. But I don't know why she didn't just go back in there and handle shit herself, but she didn't. So now it was 7 of them at first, maybe been like 6 or 7 of them trying to hold down the whole juke joint. Now it's just 2 of them because one guy sacrificed himself so that the rest of them could get away. He's like, y'all got to get the fuck out of here. I'm going to hold him off. I've lived a good life. I ain't tripping about nothing. So he cuts his wrist with the glass bottle. Says, come on, motherfuckers. And he's swinging on them as much as he can. But the whole time, they just biting his shit all up. And Sammy makes it outside. Smoke is still in the juke joint, fighting his brother now. And Stack is a vampire, so he don't give a fuck. But Smoke really doesn't want to kill his twin brother. It's like, we've lived our whole life together. We've opened businesses together. We made money together. You are my brother. I'm not trying to hurt you, but Stack being a vampire, none of that's registering right now. It's all out chaos. So Smoke ends up on top of him, and he's ready to stab him. And then the camera just cuts, and you're like, okay. Meanwhile, Sammy is out there running for his life, trying to get away. And he ends up getting caught, but now here comes the villain monologue. So they got to talk about, you know, what they're doing here and what it means to be a vampire. And just, you know, typical villain monologue shit. And then Smoke comes up behind him, right? He'd already slashed Sammy, so Sammy got this mean scratch across his face. And Smoke comes out of nowhere, stabs the main vampire in the heart with the stake. Now, whatever he feels, the rest of them can feel. So when he got stabbed, all of them started feeling crippling pain, and then the sun started to rise. So as they're feeling all this pain, now they burning to death. So the only 2 survivors from the juke joint was Sammy and Smoke. Now, Smoke tells Sammy, go ahead, live your life, live a good life. Don't worry about me. Now, it comes up that the dude that sold Smoke and Stack the juke joint, he was a Klan member, the head of the Klan. And his whole intention was for them to get a bunch of black people together and just kill a bunch of black people all in one go. So their whole plan was to come there the next day and just wreak havoc on the whole juke joint. And Smoke knew this, so he was prepared. That's why they had the trunk full of guns. So the next day comes, Sammy went to church. Needed a bit of gospel in his life. Smoke is posted up in the woods, in the trees, and just tucked away in the foliage with a sniper rifle aimed at the juke joint. All the Klan members roll up, they ready to start some shit, and then one by one, they each start getting picked off by Smoke in the bushes. Now, of course, he don't got enough sniper bullets for all of them, so he got to start walking up on y'all now. He got the shotguns, he got the rifles, he got the pistols. He pulls out a grenade at one point, but as he's trying to kill somebody that's in the back of a truck bed, he gets shot. But he didn't even, you couldn't even tell that he had got shot, because he said, nah, you motherfuckers died right now. So he just kept shooting as he got shot. Why the fuck are you all the way out there? Now I can't fucking see. Stupid ass. So Smoke is sitting there lighting these people up, and as he's dying, he sees Annie with I believe was their newborn baby that didn't make it. She's already dead, of course, so she's there with the baby. She's trying to hand him the baby, but before he takes the baby, the KKK leader, who's still currently alive, not doing well because he's been tagged a couple of times, but he's like, we don't have to do this, I got some money for you. And Smoke just empties the clip on him. It was a drum magazine too, and he just lit him the fuck up. And it was pretty satisfying to watch, I'm not gonna lie, because you sold me this motherfucker with the intention of killing me, my brother, and everybody else that we brought in this bitch, and now you're gonna offer me money? Nah, you gotta go. So Smoke has finally killed pretty much all the people, all the KKK members that showed up to try to kill them. He kills all of them, and he pretty much just dies right there. That's the end of the Smokestack. Or so we thought. Because now there's a mid-credit scene and there's an end-credit scene. The end-credit scene is just Sammy sitting with his guitar playing the blues. That's at the very end of the credits. But before the mid-credit scene comes up, you see Sammy as an old man, still playing the blues. He's touring with his band now. He's had a successful career, and he lived a nice life. Mid-credit scenes come up, and you got old man Sammy in the bar, old preacher boy sitting at the bar, and so they're gone from the 30s to 92. I think it was 32 or 37 that the movie took place, but it goes from the 30s to 92. Big D walks up and says, "Hey boss, you got these two people asking to come into the bar. I told them we was closed, but they really want to come in here." Sammy, being a good guy, goes ahead and lets him in. And who walks in other than Haley Steinfeld's character and Stack, the two vampires that lived throughout the whole debacle. And of course, being vampires, they haven't aged. They got on up-to-date clothes now, so they all swagged out and shit, or at least as 90s swag as it's gonna be. Where the fuck are you going? And Sammy's wondering how the hell. I definitely thought you died, because you and your brother had a whole little squabble. I thought that it was a wrap when he came and rescued me. So Stack tells him I was the only person that my brother just couldn't bring himself to kill. However, he did make me promise to let you live out your days. He said, just leave Sammy alone. You can do whatever the hell you want to do, but you just asked them to leave their cousin alone. Because Stack is his cousin too. Just leave Sammy be, and we're all good. So he did. He let Stack go. He ran off with Haley Steinfeld, and I wish I could remember her name. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be honest, I don't feel like looking it up right now. He tells him, he's like, all right, well, now we got some options. Now, I can turn you into a vampire right now. You'll be able to keep playing the blues. You won't get no older than you are right now. Keep touring, keep living your life. Sammy tells him, nah, I'm good on the immortality. I'ma just live out the rest of my days, you know? And he plays the same song that he played for Stack when he showed them that he knows how to play the blues. As Stack is leaving, he says, Stack, I just want to say, before the sun went down, that night was the best night of my life, man. Talking about the night that, you know, he met the twins again and they opened up the juke joint, the night of the movie, y'all know. And he says, that was the best night of my life. How about you? And Stack says, without a doubt, that was definitely the best night of my life. It was the last time I saw my brother. It was the last time I saw the sun. But we here now. And they walk away. The movie ends. That was the mid-credit scene. There's a couple of song numbers in the movie, but it's not a musical. There's a couple of songs because it's a juke joint. You have to play music at a juke joint, so there's got to be some music involved. It's a very great movie. I enjoyed the hell out of this film. If I'm going to rate this one on a scale of 1 to 10, Sinners is absolutely a 9. I would give it a 9.5. There's a couple of pieces in the movie that don't make sense to me, but there's like 1 or 2 parts that are just a little iffy, but that's still not enough to stop me from liking this movie. I think everybody should go see it. Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan, when they do a movie together, they just don't miss. And I think it really shows in this movie because it also shows Michael B. Jordan's range as an actor. Like, he was able to play 2 different types of people at the same time. And you could tell the difference between the twins without there being any issue. And I think that was probably my favorite part of the movie, is the way he was able to portray both of his characters and give them different distinct qualities that help them stand out and make it easy for you as the consumer to tell the difference between them. But that was my review of Sinners. Again, it's definitely a 9, maybe even a 9.5 out of 10. But if you rate it lower than a 9, I can't fuck with you. I'm gonna just be honest. But My name is Ryan. This has been RTB, and you guys have yourselves a great rest of the day.